Well, hello and welcome back to Read Becca, and welcome to 2026. It's time for our first to be read list for January. The TBR selection was really hard because I kind of want to read all the things. I've got that energy of just wanting to pull all the books off the shelves and get started on them, and I can't read all the books right now. So I really pared this down to just 4 books for now. I'm sure I will read more than that, but this is the limited selection I'm formally putting on my TBR for the month of January. So the first book that I selected was for the TBR Spa Readathon. This is run by Carrie's Books and Jen the Librarian, and it's very casual, so I like that. And each month you get a sort of flow chart with prompts to guide you toward selecting a book. So I will, by the power of magic, place the flowchart here on the screen for you so you can tell what I'm talking about. But we start with the question of how are you feeling about your reading at the start of the year? And I kind of answered that for myself in my goals video. If you haven't seen, I will link that somewhere. But I talked about specifically having a clear slate and feeling very like everything is open in front of me. So I went with curious and open-minded. And from there, we get, do you usually like to take risks? So if it comes to things that are like actual hazardous to my well-being, not really, but I am definitely a person who always is open to try new things and is curious. And so I am a risk taker, especially when it comes to books. So since we're talking about books, I'm gonna say yes, yeah, I will always try a new thing with books. So our answer prompt is read the newest release on your TBR out of that, which happens to have worked out really perfectly because I just borrowed a new release on Libby that I had on hold and was waiting for to come in, and that is The Queen Who Came In From the Cold by S.J. Bennett. This is the new release in the Her Majesty the Queen Investigates series, which you've probably heard me rave about already, but I really enjoy this series. It follows the former Queen of England as she is investigating murder mysteries. It's not quite a cozy series, but definitely has some of those elements as well as a lot of intrigue. Book 3 was a prequel in her young days when she started investigating. And I do not know, I haven't even looked what this new book is, if it's a prequel back in the past or if it's sometime toward the end of the Queen's life, but I know I'm going to enjoy it, or I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it. We will see whether I enjoy it when it comes to it. But I have not even looked at what the plot is. I just simply was ready to go on continuing the series. So the next book on my TBR is also a continuation of a series, and it's also a mystery. So we're starting with good vibes on hitting out those mystery series. And this is The Bell in the Fog by Lev A.C. Rosen. So this is a period mystery in the 1950s, if I recall. And we're following a man who has just started a private investigation business of his own after being disgraced from the police force because he was outed as gay. In the first book, Lavender House, really had him connecting with the gay community for the first time. And Lavender House was kind of a safe place for people to be openly gay with one another. And he's never had that before. He's been completely closeted in his entire life. So I think this is gonna have more exploration of that and him connecting with the people he has met. I think it's gonna have much more of him continuing with this brand new private investigative business. And I think this is just gonna be a great book because I really love the sense of place and time that we established in the first book. So I'm super excited to continue on with this. And then we have 2 nonfiction. So I nicely balanced 2 and 2 by accident. So the next one, I don't know how I'm gonna do with this one. It's gonna be hard hitting at the moment. But Susan Jacoby came up, I think, in 2 separate books within the last month. And this has been on my yearly TBR for many years at this point, like 4, I wanna say. And I really need to get to it because it only seems like it's become more timely. And this is The Age of American Unreason. So I think this is going to talk about the problems with modern day American ideology and American identity. And I just feel like she is a great critical thinker that is going to cause me to do a lot of introspecting by reading this. And I feel like that's maybe a great way to start the year as an American. And the last book is a new entry on my yearly TBR. I wanted to give myself kind of a quick win. So I mentioned I was leaning into history. And so I had a couple of sort of cultural microhistory type books on my shelf unread that I decided to select from that to go on to my yearly TBR, whichever one was calling to me the most. And this was the one that was calling to me the most. And that is Near a Thousand Tables, A History of Food by Felipe Fernandez Armesto. So this is quite slight considering the topic. I am hopeful, though the picture, I'm assuming is a famous work of art, but the picture seems very medieval Europe-ish, like Western world. I'm hoping it's more broad than that, but we will see. I think this is certainly a topic that interests me. How food has shaped culture throughout the years is really a topic I enjoy. So I think I'm going to like this very much regardless of whether it's really narrow or really broad in terms of the cultural impacts. So this one is, as I said, a new entry to my 2026 yearly TBR shelf, and hopefully we can knock it off and get a quick win there and count at least this and this from my yearly TBR shelf within the first month. So that is my TBR for January. That seems at the moment very, very manageable. So we will see how successfully I do and also what else I read this month. So let me know what is on your TBR and which of these you would like me to prioritize as well, because obviously we know priorities shift and change, and I want to make sure I get to the ones you're most interested in. So that is it for me today, and thank you so very much for watching.